Wow, this scene really makes us wonder what powers will Team Sonic have in the Sonic Movie 4. The Sonic Movie 3 was without a doubt one of the best animated movies of this year, and without a doubt, one of the most well-made Sonic movies and projects in history. And because of this, it was definitely one of the most successful animated movies of this year. Everyone loved the Sonic Movie 3, but of course, this begs the question, what new powers will Team Sonic have in the Sonic Movie 4? Because as we saw in the Sonic Movie 3, Team Sonic went to further extents, maximizing their powers and abilities to incredible heights, but that is not their full potential. We're probably gonna see the full potential of Team Sonic in the Sonic Movie 4. Why? Well, mainly because Amy Rose is such an incredible and vital part of Team Sonic that it needs to be added to the team for the team to reach its full potential. And that's exactly what's gonna happen in the Sonic Movie 4, as we know that Amy Rose is gonna come up in the movie. But what powers will Team Sonic have in the Sonic Movie 4? Yeah, well, that's interesting, and we have a lot of leaks and information about the powers that the Team Sonic will have in the Sonic Movie 4. And let me tell you, they're absolutely incredible, so buckle up because these powers are really gonna make you hyped for the Sonic Movie 4. If you weren't hyped for the Sonic Movie 4 already, you're gonna be a lot more hyped now. And that's exactly what we're gonna see here today, guys. We're gonna be talking about the new powers that the amazing Team Sonic will have in the next Sonic the Hedgehog 4 movie. So without further ado, guys, let's just get right into it. So of course, to understand the new powers that Team Sonic will have in the Sonic Movie 4, we have to go back to the games, because that's exactly where everything begins. After the Sonic Movie 3, Team Sonic has evolved, and after the battle with Shadow and the destruction of Robotnik's empire, the Master Emerald begins to crack, releasing chaos energy surges across the world. So with the Chaos Emeralds fluctuating in power, Team Sonic finds themselves evolving, their abilities resonating with the Emeralds in a way that they have never seen before. So to stop the looming catastrophe, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow must master the canonical game abilities before Earth is consumed by the forces of chaos and darkness. And this is how the new abilities and powers of Team Sonic begin. And we're gonna divide them one by one, each character at a time. First, with Sonic, we're gonna have Light Speed Dash. According to Sonic Adventure, Sonic can now move at true light speed, allowing him to follow golden rings in an instant to cross massive gaps or dodge attacks. Then we have Light Speed Attack, which we see in Sonic Adventure 2. When charged, Sonic can execute a homing attack chain at a near instantaneous speed, striking multiple targets before they can react. Boost powers, which we can see in Sonic Unleashed, Generations, and Frontiers, Sonic can now channel chaos energy into a high-speed aura, allowing him to burst forward indefinitely without losing momentum. Then we have Drop Dash. In Sonic Mania and Frontiers is where the Sonic ability comes up for the first time. A new ability that allows Sonic to instantly roll into a spin dash upon landing and keeping his full speed at all times. Supersonic Evolution, which we see in Sonic Frontiers as well. Instead of just flying, Supersonic now has combat abilities, including parries and counterattacks, flight-based melee combat, and energy shockwaves that can knock back even giant foes. An incredible pack that will make Sonic an incredible part of the Team Sonic mega power. Then we have Tails, Sonic's best friend. Tails' intellect is further enhanced, letting him harness chaos energy for mechanical upgrades inspired by the games. Abilities that we have in Tails being part of the Team Sonic's new abilities is Tornado Assault, which we see in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Forces. Tails upgrades his Tornado plane into a combat-ready battle jet, complete with machine guns, missile launchers, and laser beams. Then we have Tails Swipe, which we see in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Tails can now generate powerful wind gusts, knocking back enemies. Flight Boost, which we see in Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Forces, and by using a jet booster attachment, Tails can now fly at supersonic speeds, making him more maneuverable in aerial combat. Energy Shield Tech, which we see in Sonic Battle, Tails is able to reverse engineering and emerald-based technology to create personal shields that deflect attacks and absorb chaos energy for power-ups. Then we have Super Tails, the ultimate transformation of Tails, which we see in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. When he collects the Super Emeralds, Tails gains golden flaky allies that automatically attack enemies like homing missiles. I guarantee you that you never thought that Tails had this amount of potential. The next in line, of course, is Knuckles. With the Master Emerald's energy flowing through him, Knuckles' strength and combat abilities reach their peak. And the abilities that he's able to gain is, for example, Shovel Claw, which we see in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Knuckles can dig underground to find hidden rings, power-ups, or enemy weak points. Then we have gliding and climbing. We see this in the classic games and in adventure series. His ability to glide extends further, letting him stay airborne longer, and his climbing speed also increases significantly. Then we have mighty strength, which we see in Sonic Adventure 2. Knuckles can basically smash through solid metal and boulders effortlessly, even breaking reinforced structures. Then we have hammer punch, which we see in Sonic Battle and Sonic 06, a charged punch that creates shockwaves, dealing massive AoE damage to enemies. And then for last, of course, we have Hyper Knuckles, which we see in Sonic 3, and a transformation in the game Knuckles. If Knuckles collects the Super Emeralds, his Hyper form grants invincibility, shockwave enhanced punches, and a wall climbing speed boost. Absolute behemoth of a monster is what Knuckles becomes when he becomes Super. Now, as we know in the Sonic Movie 3, Shadow the Hedgehog sacrifices himself for Earth and leaves the planet. But as we also see in the credit scene, we see that Shadow the Hedgehog is coming back. And of course this was obvious, since the introduction of Shadow the Hedgehog in the franchise is only the beginning of his full potential and his many stories to come in the whole franchise. And now that we know that Shadow is of course going to be back in the Sonic Movie 4 and is going to be part of the Team Sonic's new abilities, because now he has turned into a good character that will ally himself with the other guys, how many powers and what kind of powers will he have? Well, after reconnecting his Black Arms heritage, Shadow's Chaos abilities grow even more refined. And these are the ones. Chaos Spear, which we see in Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06, Shadow can now fire multiple Chaos Spears rapidly, creating electrified explosions on impact. We have Chaos Blast, which we see in Shadow the Hedgehog. By overloading Chaos Energy, Shadow unleashes an explosive shockwave, instantly destroying weaker enemies. Then we have Chaos Control Mastery, which we see in Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic 06 back again. Shadow's teleportation becomes even more advanced, allowing him to stop time momentarily for everyone except himself. Hover Shoes Boost, which we see in Sonic 06 and Forces, and it's Shadow's hover shoes that make him even more powerful. Now we have a boost mode, allowing him to match Sonic's speed in bursts. And then finally we have Super Shadow, which we see in Sonic Adventure 2, 06, and Forces. Shadow's super form now allows him to use infinite chaos control for teleportation, faster Chaos Spear projectiles, and stronger Chaos Blast shockwaves. And then a final battle would ensue in which they would all join their abilities and form one transformation, which would be named Hyper Solaris. The fusion takes shape as a radiant figure, glowing with a rainbow aura. Their body is an embodiment of chaos energy with shimmering streaks of gold, silver, and crimson flowing like a nebula. The first ability that Hyper Solaris would have, Infinite Chaos Control, which we see in Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06. Time itself bends at their will. They can freeze, rewind, or accelerate reality in bursts. Then we have Flash Dash, which we see in Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Mania. Hyper speed movement that lets them instantly appear anywhere in the battlefield. Gravity Manipulation, which we see in Sonic 06 and Silver's powers. The ability to lift, throw, and crush objects on a cosmic scale, even redirecting Solaris' own attacks. Hypersonic's Flash Attack, which we see in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and it's a devastating light speed shockwave that obliterates everything in its path. And then finally, we have the Reality Warp Defense, which we see in Sonic Adventure 2 and Chaos Control based. Any attack aimed at Hyper Solaris is automatically redirected into another timeline, rendering them untouchable. And these are the new powers of Team Sonic in the Sonic Movie 4. You know these powers are going to be epic to watch on the big screen.